Scientists can now reconstruct how fast ancient primates developed just from a few fossilized teeth, but we still can't agree on what makes humans fundamentally human. Today, we're exploring THEO-HUMANOLOGY, an emerging field that's trying to bridge the gap between spiritual, psychological, and biological understandings of humanity. You'll discover how ancient concepts like being made in God's image connect to modern consciousness research, and why this integration might be crucial for navigating our technological future. Let me bring in someone who's been tracking these fascinating intersections.
This is such a timely conversation because we're seeing this incredible convergence happening. The search results show that since Vatican Council II, there's been this renewed interest in what theologians call the Imago Dei, the idea that humans are created in God's image. But what's fascinating is how this ancient concept is now intersecting with cutting-edge research in psychology and neuroscience.
Wait, so you're saying that a concept from Genesis is somehow relevant to modern brain science?
Exactly. And it's not just relevant, it's providing a framework that pure materialism can't. According to research from the International Theological Commission, our technological advances have made humans feel smaller and less secure in their position within the universe. We need something that can hold together our spiritual, psychological, and biological dimensions.
Okay, but let's back up. What exactly is THEO-HUMANOLOGY? Because that's not a term most people would recognize.
Think of it as an attempt to create a unified understanding of what it means to be human. Traditional anthropology looks at humans from cultural or biological perspectives. Theology focuses on our relationship with the divine. Psychology examines our mental processes. But THEO-HUMANOLOGY is trying to weave all these threads together.
And the Imago Dei is central to this?
Absolutely. According to Dan Leoy's research, the Imago Dei refers to humans being created in God's image and likeness, first introduced in Genesis 1:2:6:27. But here's what's interesting. The Hebrew words used are tselem and demuth. Tselem means a visual representation, while demuth suggests correspondence in appearance and intimate connection.
So it's not just about looking like God, but having some kind of deep correspondence?
Right. And this grounds what Leoy calls humanity's capacities for relating to God and exercising responsible dominion over the earth. It points to the Creator endowing people with rational, moral, and creative faculties. It's not just about having a soul, it's about having purpose and vocation.
That's fascinating. But how does this connect to what we know about consciousness and psychology?
This is where it gets really interesting. Christopher McMahon's research shows that scriptural accounts of the human condition have many points of convergence with contemporary psychology. And there's been this emergence of what he calls a science of the human that allows psychological insights to be integrated within a higher systematic account of meaning and value.
Wait, so psychology and theology aren't necessarily in conflict?
Not at all. McMahon found that recent years have witnessed many avenues of collaboration that don't compromise the integrity of either discipline. In fact, positive psychology has emerged as a significant intersection, echoing biblical virtues of human flourishing.
Okay, but let's talk about this idea of the embodied soul. That sounds like it could be controversial.
It's actually less controversial than you might think. Anna Pendrack's research describes humans as a biological, psycho-spiritual unity. She uses St. Bonaventure's framework that describes three spheres: bios, psyche, and zoe, biological life, conscious life, and spiritual life.
So we're not just bodies with souls attached or souls trapped in bodies?
Exactly. Pendrack notes that these spheres permeate each other, but spiritual life transcends the previous two planes. This is what distinguishes humans from other creatures and gives us our unique character. It's an integrated view.
That's really different from the mind-body dualism that a lot of people assume Christianity teaches.
Right. And this connects to what Eric Kolb calls the hard problem of consciousness. His research explores how consciousness relates to the soul, looking at everything from neural pathways to quantum theories of consciousness. The theological perspective actually provides resources that pure materialism struggles with.
Interesting. Now, you mentioned relational consciousness. What does that mean exactly?
This is where the St. Andrew's Encyclopedia research becomes crucial. It shows that there's been a relational turn in theological anthropology, particularly in the work of theologians like Bonhoeffer and Barth. They understood human resemblance to God not as individual traits, but as relational capacity.
So being made in God's image is about relationships, not just individual characteristics?
Exactly. And this connects to what Fuller Seminary describes as humanity being first oriented toward God. Augustine's famous prayer captures this: Our hearts are restless until they find their rest in thee. We're fundamentally relational beings.
But how does this relational aspect connect to our sense of purpose or vocation?
The Vatican's recent document on Christian anthropology talks about life as vocation and describes the human person as an agent in history. It emphasizes relationships and the sense of belonging, what they call intersubjectivity, and an integral vocation to fulfillment in love.
So our purpose isn't just individual achievement, but how we relate to others and to God?
Right. And this is where THEO-HUMANOLOGY becomes really practical. According to the research, the Imago Dei invests humanity with inherent meaning and purpose, to know God, responsibly steward creation, and manifest God's character. It's about both relationship and responsibility.
Now, I have to ask, how does this ancient framework address modern challenges? Like, what about artificial intelligence or genetic engineering?
This is exactly why the Vatican's 2026 document is so significant. It's titled Quo Vadis Humanitas? Essentially, where is humanity going? And it directly engages with challenges of transhumanism and posthumanism.
What's their take on these technological developments?
They acknowledge that technological advances have increased our ability to control nature, but also note the unexpected and possibly uncontrollable impact on our environment and ourselves. The document emphasizes shaping identity starting from the body given and being a gift to others.
So they're not anti-technology, but they're concerned about how it affects our understanding of what it means to be human?
Exactly. The International Theological Commission notes that our knowledge of the universe's immensity has made humans feel smaller and less secure. But the Imago Dei provides what they call a positive vision of the human person within the universe.
That's fascinating. But I'm curious about the practical implications. How does this theo-humanological approach actually change how we live?
Well, according to the research, it affects everything from how we understand personal identity to how we approach social justice. The Vatican document talks about personal identity as both a gift and a task, something we receive, but also something we actively shape.
And this connects to the relational aspect we talked about earlier?
Absolutely. Rosemary Carbine's work on the relational turn in theological anthropology shows how this affects our understanding of gender, race, culture, sexuality, politics, and social justice. It's not just abstract theology, it has real-world implications.
So this isn't just academic theorizing, it's actually meant to change how we treat each other?
Right. The research consistently shows that if humans are created in God's image, then human dignity isn't something we earn, it's something we inherently possess. This has profound implications for how we approach issues like poverty, discrimination, and social justice.
But what about people who don't share these theological assumptions? Can this framework still be relevant?
That's a great question. The research shows that even secular psychology is grappling with questions that theology has been addressing for centuries. McMahon notes that psychological sciences haven't threatened theology's value. Instead, they've created opportunities for collaboration.
So there might be common ground even without shared religious beliefs?
Exactly. The research on consciousness, the nature of human dignity, our relational capacities, these are questions that both religious and secular thinkers are wrestling with. THEO-HUMANOLOGY might offer resources that pure materialism struggles to provide.
What about the critics who might say this is just trying to smuggle religion into science?
The Fuller Seminary research addresses this directly. They note that various accounts from natural and human sciences are relevant to understanding humans, but these are provisional versions of human reality that must be deepened by Christian beliefs. It's not about replacing science, but about integration.
So it's more about having a fuller picture than choosing sides?
Right. And this is where the embodied soul concept becomes so important. It's not dualistic. It's not saying we're souls trapped in bodies or just complex machines. It's saying we're integrated beings with spiritual, psychological, and biological dimensions that all matter.
Looking ahead, where do you see this field of theo-humanology going?
The Vatican's 2026 document suggests we're at a crucial moment. As we face questions about artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and what they call scenarios for the future of humanity, we need frameworks that can hold together our full human complexity.
And you think theo-humanology provides that framework?
I think it offers crucial resources. The research shows that the Imago Dei, while tarnished by sin, has not been destroyed. And through what the research calls transformation into Christ's likeness, the original purpose of bearing God's image finds greater fulfillment.
That's a hopeful note. But what would you say to someone who's intrigued by this but doesn't know where to start?
I'd say start by paying attention to your own experience of being human. Notice how you're simultaneously biological, psychological, and spiritual. Notice how your sense of purpose connects to your relationships. The research suggests these aren't separate compartments, they're integrated dimensions of who you are.
So when you step back from all this, what's the big picture here? Why does THEO-HUMANOLOGY matter?
I think it matters because we're living in a time when our understanding of humanity is being challenged from every direction. Technology is changing what it means to be human. Science is revealing new complexities about consciousness and identity, and people are searching for meaning and purpose.
And THEO-HUMANOLOGY offers a way to hold all of that together?
It offers a framework that says you don't have to choose between being a spiritual being, a psychological being, or a biological being. You're all three, integrated in ways that reflect something profound about the nature of reality itself.
That's a powerful vision. And it suggests that understanding ourselves more fully might actually help us navigate the challenges ahead.
Exactly. The research consistently points to this, that a richer understanding of human nature, one that integrates our spiritual, psychological, and biological dimensions, gives us better tools for addressing everything from personal meaning to social justice to technological ethics.
Well, this has been fascinating. Thanks for helping us explore this emerging field of THEO-HUMANOLOGY and showing how ancient wisdom might have something crucial to offer our modern world.
Thanks for having me. I think this conversation shows how much we need integrated approaches to understanding humanity, approaches that honor our full complexity rather than reducing us to just one dimension.
And with that, thanks for joining us on Copilot Podcasts. Remember, the next time someone asks what makes humans special, you might just have a more complete answer, one that bridges the spiritual, psychological, and biological in ways that could reshape how we think about ourselves and our future.